Saul Murray, a 33-year-old lived in Luton, was a father of 6. He had recently moved into a new flat in the Newtown area after being released from prison. His Instagram boasted luxury items, designer clothing, and even posting an image of 2 Rolex watches, one which was a Rolex Daytona which was not so easy to get your hands on. February 9, 2022. His Instagram caught the attention of a 36-year-old woman from Stratford, London named Surpreet Dillon. She messaged Saul through Instagram after he posted a video of the 2 Rolex watches. Surpreet made advances towards him and sent him flirty suggestive messages and some voice notes.
What's your favourite drink when you do drink? You gotta have a drink with me though, right?
Yeah, I only drink like Hennessy though. Only straight as well.
I drink rum, but I can fuck with Henny as well, not a problem. Alright, cool. Seeing as we're doing like weird questions, I've got one for you as well. Have you slept with a like Asian, Italian, coolie girl before?
Following the back and forth conversation on Instagram, they went on to exchange numbers and continued to talk on WhatsApp. Couple weeks later, Surpreet messaged Saul saying she will be in the area to meet a friend and asking if they could meet. He agreed. She asked for his address and he sent it over. February 26, 2022. In the late evening, Surpreet and her friend traveled to Luton in a Mercedes, which was a hire car. They arrived at the flat around 10 p.m. The arrival was caught on CCTV at Murray's home. Few hours later, the pair are seen leaving the flat at around 2:30 a.m. One of the women is seen to have gone outside and seemingly taking pictures on her phone. The other, Surpreet, doesn't leave the building but comes down to leave the door open with a broom. The other woman later returns. Just under half an hour later, 2 men can be seen entering the building through the door which had been left open. 20 minutes later, the 2 women are seen leaving the building in a hurry, followed closely by the 2 men with one of them holding a knife. Not long after, Murray can be seen running to the door, undressed, at which point he collapsed and sadly died. A few hours later, a tenant in the building had returned home from a night shift around 5 a.m. and had called the emergency services. However, it was too late. It quickly turned into a murder case and detectives reviewed CCTV and May's phone data. It didn't take them long to discover Surpreet Dillon was one of the women in the CCTV footage and who Murray had planned to meet that evening. She had an extensive criminal record which involved a variety of charges, and police later established there had been various other accounts of men stating that they had met Surpreet and she had drugged and robbed them as well. The police visited Surpreet's home and she was under arrest for the murder of Saul Murray.
Open the gates! Open the gates! Surpreet? This is Surpreet Dillon. You're under arrest for murder. Look down at your chest. Look down at your chest. This is a taser. Cable of 50,000 volts, alright?
Police analyzed her phone and discovered the other woman who went to the flat with Dillon was Temideo All. She was considerably younger at only 21 years old, and was a university student in Coventry. Subsequently, the police visited her student accommodation and arrested her. During Surpreet's initial interview, she gave no comment throughout. Temedeo doing the same after claiming her innocence and not knowing Murray.
Can I just say something?
Yes.
Honestly, I am traumatized that I'm here, that I'm linked to any type of murder.
Yeah.
I don't know the poor soul, and I'm very gutted that he dead. Honestly, I didn't murder him. I didn't harm him in any type of way. I'm honestly just an undergraduate student. I just wanted to get my degree.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that now.
Okay.
That's all I want to say.
Okay.
Police did more digging and managed to trace the connection between the two women, dating back to 2017. Where there was police footage of a raid at Sir Pete's, Jamaican restaurant, as they believed it was being used as a front to sell drugs. After carefully reviewing the body cam footage of the raid, Temedeo was clearly seen where she was only 16 at the time, which brought further questions of child grooming charges to Sir Pete. A toxicology exam was ordered, and it was discovered that Murray had been drugged with a date rape drug called GHB. Swabs of May's neck and face were taken. Unsurprisingly, traces of both the women's DNA were found, indicating there was some sexual contact between both the women and Murray. 2 days before, voice notes and messages were recovered between the two women and another male. Discussing the Instagram post and Deo stating the watch is probably old and not worth more than $3.5 grand, and mocking it.
Nearly 25 years old. You probably get that in the shop for like 3.5. Because it's so old.
Bro, they're taking the piss too much. I'm so upset. She really 25 years old. The watch is older than me. Fucking hell. What it is. Oh, the watch is upset, I'm not gonna lie. But he should have come out of the one that he's annoying. Stupid piece of shit.
With the amount of growing evidence, the suspects were both charged with murder. The pair never gave up the two males involved in the murder. However, further investigations of the CCTV and the car used was a rental, they were able to track the car's movements, which led to one of the males being known as Clean Brown, who was later arrested. Using the vehicle's GPS tracker, the whereabouts were able to be located. February 27, 2022. Just before 5 a.m., CCTV of the vehicle was shown entering a petrol station. A male could be seen coming out the vehicle asking to use the vacuum, in only his socks. This could be because he was aware of any blood being on his trainers. Clean was called in for questioning. He gave no comment throughout his interview, despite looking nervously at his solicitor various times as police presented strong evidence against him. Clean Brown was also charged with murder. After this, the attention of the detectives turned towards the fourth male involved. Following a cell site analysis of Clean's phone, they were able to find that he was in contact with an unregistered Lyca phone number, as well as another number who was the partner of a male named Ike Mafia. He was well known to police. He was the only one to use a burner phone and to switch off his phone during the incident, which made him the most difficult to identify. He was also arrested and gave a no-comment interview. Following the vehicle's movements, police were able to find 2 days prior, the two males visited a KFC, which was crucial evidence as Ikem was wearing a coat similar to the fourth male suspect who was seen holding the knife on the day of the attack. Despite this, police didn't have enough to hold Ikem in cells, so they released him on bail. However, police ordered the same Moncler coat and reenacted the movement of Ikem in the KFC and the flat to strengthen their case. The coat was expensive and a rare piece with only 69 ordered online, one of which traced back to the address of Ikem Mafia's partner. He was also charged with murder. November 2022. A 10-week trial commenced. During the trial, both the females placed the male suspects at the crime, and they were the ones who wanted to search the property and they didn't want to be a part of it and left immediately. Ikem claimed he attempted to take the watch off Murray, but he woke up and a struggle ensued, which led to him stabbing Murray. It is clear from the crime scene there was some sort of struggle, but Murray was most likely affected by the GHB in his system acting like a sedative. Surpreet Dillon admitted to playing the role of the Honeytrap and stated she had done this around 6 other times to men in the past, with the reason being to feed her family. Despite having wardrobe full of designer clothes and items, she claimed she had brought along her defendant, Temedeo, on 4 of those occasions. She confirmed the motive and what led to her targeting Saul Murray, which was the post of the 2 Rolex watches. January 10, 2023. A verdict was reached. Surpreet Dillon, Temedeo and Clean Brown were convicted of manslaughter. Ika Mafia was convicted of murder. In a sad twist, it was found out that the 2 Rolexes they had come to rob were fake. Murray planned to sell the Rolexes and use the money to buy items for his new flat. Only 3 days into moving in, he was murdered. Saul Murray had a criminal record, allegedly committing a similar robbery years earlier. But it appeared he was starting to turn his life around and go legit.
An officer is the other side of the door now.
There's somebody knocking on my door saying that they've been stabbed. He's telling me he's dying. Oh my God, he's screaming now.
February. A teenage boy was lured to a park on a cold evening. A chase through the night. A brutal, premeditated attack. And the digital footprints that led police straight to the killers. This is the tragic case of Lyrico Steede, the 17-year-old whose murder sent shockwaves through the UK. Lyrico Steede, known as Rico to his friends, was a bright and ambitious young man. Originally from Bermuda, he had moved to Nottingham 3 years prior, seeking new opportunities with his family. But instead of a fresh start, his life was cut tragically short by a ruthless group of teenagers. 13th February 2018. Lyrico had arranged to meet a girl, 16-year-old Letitia Shakespeare. But what he didn't know was that this was a setup. A group of 4 teenagers had laid a trap, waiting for him to arrive. As Lyrico arrived at the park around 7:30 p.m., the girl led him towards a bench. Everything seemed normal, until figures emerged from the darkness. Hooded, masked, and armed. Without warning, they attacked. Lyrico ran for his life. CCTV captured the chase, a frantic dash through the park as his assailants pursued him with relentless determination. Cornered, Lyrico was stabbed multiple times in a vicious and sustained attack. Despite his injuries, he managed to escape, running half a mile before collapsing on the doorstep of a nearby house. Paramedics arrived and rushed Lyrico to Queen's Medical Center. He had suffered 5 deep stab wounds. 18th February 2018. Despite the efforts of doctors, 5 days later, Lyrico succumbed to his injuries. With a teenage boy murdered, the pressure was on for Nottinghamshire police to find those responsible. But they faced a major challenge. Lyrico's killers had covered their tracks well. They wore masks, they left no weapons behind, and they refused to talk. But what they didn't count on was digital forensics. Using mobile phone records, social media activity, and CCTV footage, police began to unravel the web of deception. A name known to Lyrico was given to the investigators who was later interviewed. She didn't know Lyrico well but agreed to meet him.
That happened last week, which you're aware of. But the most important thing is that you tell the truth about what's happened. That is really, really important. I know you're 15 years old, and I'm sure you understand the difference between right and wrong.
At first I messaged him on Instagram, that's how we got in contact with each other, but then we switched over to Snapchat. He messaged me saying, "What are you doing? Should we meet up?" What are we gonna get a drone soon? He was there for about an hour, and then people came on the park and I heard the gate bang, and then the people came on the park and ran. And after that then I went to look for Rico, And I couldn't find him, so I went straight in because I'm worried and scared.
She went on and said the group who attacked them robbed her and took her iPad, and she didn't know what to do. It wasn't long before investigators found CCTV of the girl on the bus using her iPad after the incident, which she said got stolen. She was lying. One by one, the pieces of evidence fell into place. CCTV showed the suspects arriving at the scene together. Phone records revealed messages exchanged in the hours before the attack. And digital footprints uncovered the sinister plan that had been set in motion long before Lyrico stepped foot. The post-mortem examination revealed the brutal extent of the attack. Lyrico Steede had suffered 18 stab wounds, 6 of which were to his face. This level of violence suggested there was far more to the attack than a random act of aggression. Police needed answers, and they turned back to the girl who had lured Lyrico to the park. Despite repeated questioning, the girl refused to give up any information due to being scared. Investigators knew they were missing key details. But then, an unexpected lead came from local taxi services. A taxi company reported that 4 young males had been picked up and dropped off in the Bulwell area around the time of the attack. The journey started in Luton, a 15-minute drive away. But what really caught the police's attention was how the boys had left the taxi, running off without paying and leaving something behind. A small but crucial piece of evidence, a Nokia phone. Detectives believed they were getting closer, but despite this promising lead, progress stalled. That's when they turned to the public, launching a media appeal in hopes of gathering more information.
This is following the tragic death of a 17-year-old boy who was stabbed a week ago today on Lillington Road in Stobwell in Bulwell. Lyrico Steede was a 17-year-old boy, much loved by his family.
The appeal paid off. Police received intelligence about an individual known as Cash, later identified as 19-year-old Cashern Campbell. He was already familiar to law enforcement, known for carrying knives and having a history of trouble with the police. Campbell's past was troubled. His own father had been murdered when he was a child. Using digital forensics, police confirmed that Cashern Campbell was in the Bulwell area at the time of Lyrico's murder. But he wasn't alone. Another name emerged from the investigation: Christian Jameson, also known as C. Rose. The web of connections was growing. Further forensic analysis uncovered links between the girl's phone and Cashern, tying the two groups together. More individuals were identified through CCTV footage: Remel Miller Campbell, also known as Rems, and a 16-year-old known only as JD. What had started as a mysterious and brutal attack was now unraveling into a premeditated crime, involving multiple individuals. But while police had their suspects, they still needed to prove exactly what had happened that night. And why. Through their digital trail, police identified the main attacker, 19-year-old Cashern Campbell. Alongside him were Christian Jameson and 2 other teens, whose names were withheld due to their age. During the trial, prosecutors revealed that the attack was premeditated. Lyrico had been targeted due to a social media dispute. A trivial argument online had escalated into deadly violence. Both sides were mocking each other. Even though Lyrico played a very small part in the music video, as he was just in the background. The defendants lured Lyrico to the park under false pretenses.
Gang bang, Rem, C-Rolls, YP Cash, hash to the athlete gang.
For sure.
Slap that prick in the back with the shit, he's lucky that blade was blunt. Anyone screaming athlete gang finna get rumbles.
They chased him down, outnumbered him, and executed a cold-blooded attack. This was not a fight. This was an ambush. January 2019. After weeks of testimony, the verdict was reached. Cashern Campbell was found guilty of murder and sentenced to 20 years. Christian Jameson received 16 years. The other 3, including the girl who lured Lyrico, were convicted of manslaughter, receiving sentences ranging from 8 to 12 years. For Lyrico's loved ones, the sentences offered some justice, but nothing could bring back the bright young man they had lost. No parent should ever have to bury their child. I just hope that other young people learn from this tragedy and choose a different path. In the wake of his death, Nottinghamshire Police launched the Lyrico Steede Award, recognizing young people making positive changes in their communities. His name now stands as a reminder of the consequences of youth violence. Lyrico's story is a tragedy, one of lost potential, senseless violence, and the dangers of social media feuds escalating beyond control. But through awareness, education, and community action, we can prevent more young lives from being lost to the same fate.